Hello. Hello, everybody. I'm waiting here. And there it goes. See, it's happening way sooner now. That's great. It used to wait till 30 seconds. So this is amazing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to day three of um, Fiction Writing Workshop. I hope you enjoy it. Today, we are going to be talking about your voice and how to find it and how to understand it and how to curate it. Okay? Got some weird hair shit happening here. All right. But before we start, we are going to kind of shoot the shit a little bit here about things. Um, I this morning while I've been petering around doing stuff, I was listening to Rick Rubin's Creative Act, which again is probably the best book on being an artist that I can't recommend it enough. It's amazing. Okay. But so a lot of times when I'm doing stuff, but I'm not thinking about my own shit, I will just have that playing in the background. It's very calming, very soothing, whatever. But every once in a while, you will hear, or I will hear, like some like pearl of wisdom. And like I've read this book like I don't even know how many times. I read it twice the day it came out. So there you go. But sometimes like I'll hear something or I'll read something because I have the hardcover and the audiobook. And it's almost like I'm hearing it for the first time and I never heard that before. Chasey, hello. How are you doing? And Bunny, hello. Um, but today when I was walking around, I'm trying to remember how he said it. Um, but he said something like, there are no rules in art. There are just assumptions and there are no absolutes. And that's so fucking true. That's so fucking true. Like anything anyone tells you about art is just the thing they think about art. Like, and again, like all kinds of art, guys. Like every type of creative creation. Okay. Like I know some people are going to say, well, a paragraph is a paragraph and no one can like argue that a paragraph is a paragraph. Like go fucking choke on it, bro. Like don't be a fucking dick. We're talking about actual fucking theory. We're talking about how you do things, how things are done, how things are made. It's all assumptions. Everything I say and all these things, it's all bullshit. I believe it. It's how I do what I do. And I think it's good advice. But some of you might think it's absolute horseshit. Awesome. Go do your own thing. That's the thing. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, whatever rules you learn or whatever, as long as you are making something, that's all that matters. So, whatever you had to listen to make you think, oh, I should fucking do this thing, then that's good. I don't care if it's bad advice. If it got you off your fucking ass to fucking make some art, fuck it. Who cares? I don't give a shit. I just want you guys creating shit. Like, do I think everyone should make art? I think everyone is capable of making art. I've seen some of the art that some people make, and I go, wow, I wish they didn't make that. Just out of like me going, oh, I don't like that. But the fact that we all can make art means we all should make art, you know? I don't have to like it. but like, we are all capable of this. So, Nicky Jam, dude, sup, brah, brah, brah. Oh, I'm like spitting now. I notice it when I have gum in my mouth, and it's a little tiny piece of gum. I spit a lot when I talk. So that's one thing I've noticed since quitting smoking. If I have a big piece of gum in my mouth, it's fine. But if I have a little tiny piece of gum in my mouth, I'm like fucking a goddamn sprinkler head over here. I apologize. Holy shit. Boop. Okay, so yeah, so that was something I heard today that really struck a chord with me. So, for those of you in the chat right now who didn't do it the last couple days, go ahead and say what you're working on. And if you did do it a couple days ago and you made progress, do it again. Because last night during the members writing Zoom, it was me and Mindy, and we just decided that we weren't going to do prompts. We were just going to work on the thing we were working on. So she was working on her horror, like her nature gone bad horror story. And I was working on my novel. And I think she's halfway through the story now. So can't remember how many words she wrote, but she's at the halfway point. And I finished this mega chapter that just seemed to be going on forever. I don't know if I'm going to break the chapter up. I might, but I finished chapter 6, but then was on a roll, so I went ahead and wrote chapter 7, which was basically like a coda to like end this first part of the book, because now like those first 7 chapters, it's like setting the stage, setting up who the characters are, giving you sort of an idea of what the plot of the book is going to be about. But chapter 8 here is where the actual story of the story starts. So again, I don't know if that's too many chapters before the actual meat and potatoes of a story starts. I mean, I guess it's fine. Like you hear, like all of this is like foretold. It's all foreshadowed, so it should be fine. Nikki says, I'm currently working on my chapter by chapter outline. Slightly concerned I'll solve the story, but it's a historical thing. So I do kind of need milestones to write between. Yeah. I get that. Yeah, the thing is, you're going to figure it out before you write it. And so what you have to decide right now is, if you do figure that out, are you going to be able to finish writing it? Like, is that going to like take the excitement level out of it? Because what I would recommend you do is write as much of the story now as you can, and just write, because I'm sure you have like great dialogue pieces and great like, oh, this one scene where they're like looking out over this blah blah blah. Write all of that shit now. Get all of that out as much as you can, and then go back and look for the milestones and all that shit, and then add all of those little pieces in after you're done with the actual writing of the the characters and all that stuff, because that's the important part. I'm not trying to say world building I'm not trying to say world building isn't important, but A lot of people get hung up on world building so much that they forget to actually write a book with a story. And they're just so excited about the world they created. I think I will be able to carry on with this one. It's a new slant on a popular historical situation that I love researching. I'm hoping the fact I enjoy the history will help keep me engaged. That should. I like that. I like that a lot. I like it so much. I'm going to do this. Boom. Good job. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. We're 10 minutes in. I try to not start the juice until 20 minutes in. But do you guys have any questions about anything we've gone over as of yet? I actually should try to remember what me and Caitlin did in the other stream yesterday. What did me and Caitlin do in the other stream yesterday? Shit. What did we do? Oh, this is kind of like a fun exercise to do. So the first thing was taking your character, like the main character of your story, or the person whose point of view you write from the most, and all this other shit, and then give them like human things to do. So like take your main character and then go, oh, it's the day you have to pay the bills. Like how does this work? Where do they keep the bills? Is it all online? Do they have a basket with letters in it? What do they do? What's their bank account look like? Do they have enough money in the account to fucking pay the bills? If they don't, what do they do? Like, how does this happen? Do people owe them money? Do they need to go hit up somebody who is a broke ass and try to figure out how that works? Do they need to go grocery shopping? If they do, what is the typical thing that they fill their card up with? And then for all of your random characters, this is what I used to do with my actors when I was making movies all the time. When they're like, I just need to know, like, like what my character's like what were they like growing up? Because like no one ever fucking like. Okay, I'm trying to think of all the actors I've worked with, and after having these conversations with them about what they were like as a child, like, did that affect any of their performance after that? Absolutely not. I think they just think they're supposed to ask those questions. So here is what I will say to you. For all of your subcategory characters, okay, everybody else in your stuff, what do they have in their pocket at all times? What do they carry in their purse at all times? Like if you were to empty their shit, what would be there? If like you're the love interest of your main character put his hand in his pocket and closed his fist and pulled his fist out and then opened it, what would be in his hand? These are the things you should know about your character. And the fun thing about that is you have no idea how many times that has been very, very fucking helpful for me, because like I didn't know what to write about one of my characters. And so I had them put their hand in their pocket and pull out Tic Tacs because they're an alcoholic and they need to hide the smell of booze on their breath. Or one's just like kind of absent-minded, so he put his hand in his pocket and pulled it out and there was a bunch of trash, like all just like crumpled up pieces of paper and shit. And then he put his hand in his other pocket, pulled it out, still more trash, can't find his keys. It's just like crumpled up pieces of paper in his pockets. Okay, it just adds levels of humanity and relatability to your characters to do these things with them. Because there's those things you can get, like those like fucking checklists, like where did they go to school? What did they have for dinner last night? And you can do all that stuff. But unless you like write something about it and make like I don't know, like checklists are fine, but I prefer writing out a short story about those things, even if you don't use it, just so you can get to know your characters better. Okay? Free tip. So that's what we did in the writing Zoom after this thing yesterday, and we're going to have another one today. So for all of you who are in the crew who haven't been showing up to them, I'm going to send it out today after this, and I'm going to wait 5 minutes. And if you guys don't show, I'm going to bounce. I know middle of the day is hard for people to get together, but if you want to write and do stuff, like that is how we're going to do it. Okay. All right. Let's talk about voice. Okay. So there's a couple things here. And please, if you guys have questions, Nikki, including you, if you have questions, leave them in the chat while I'm doing this. It's okay if I get sidetracked. I will come back. I have notes. It's fine. Okay. All right. So, one question that I get a lot from people is, let me see, is that open? Yeah, that was open. Okay. Oh, that was open too. Holy shit. Let me shut this actually. I have the air on and I'm trying to keep it fucking cool in here, and it just doesn't seem to be doing anything. Air just kicked on. Now we're talking. I've been wondering how writers get to know their characters. This is scratching my itchy questions. Good. Good. All right. So people are afraid of writing, and people talk about this all the time. Like they want to write so bad. And people have been saying this to me a lot lately, that they want to write this one novel, but they want it to be really good. So they're waiting until they're a better writer to write the novel. Knock that shit off. Okay. Like you're always going to be better every time you write anything. So instead of looking at this novel as the biggest thing you're ever going to do, it's just a small thing in the giant mountain of stuff that you're going to put out. It's really not that big of a deal. Every time you write something, you will get better. Okay. So, like, even if you wait 5 years to write this book, in 5 years, you could say, well, in 5 more years, I'll probably be better. You probably will be. But then 5 years after that, you'll probably be better too. So it becomes this perpetual fucking way of you getting out of your fucking job of writing your fucking book. Okay. So know that, like, your writing will always change. It will always mutate based on the influences that are in your life, the inspirations you have for your art, and how you want to push your art out. You know, I mean, shit, I wrote songs, I wrote screenplays, I wrote serials, I wrote novels, I wrote poetry. I've written all kinds of different stuff, and every single thing is a little bit different. I still think it all sounds like me, but it's all a little bit different. So getting to the sounding like me is where what we're going to be talking about today is our voice. How do we find our voice, and how do we curate our voice? Um, let's see. You don't need to become a better writer. You need to become a good editor. Oh, I don't know about that. I think editors are very self-important. I mean, I guess, like, if you were a better writer, you wouldn't need a good editor. If you were a better writer, you wouldn't even need a bad editor. So I see what you're saying, but all I'm trying to say is just write, just do the thing. I meant improving your first draft rather than writing perfectly. I get you. I get you. I'm kind of fucking around here. I'm still on a blank page with ideas for content, just no story so far. I'm still on a blank page with ideas for content, just no story so far. It's well out of my comfort zone, but I'm excited to try it, constantly thinking about it. Okay, so you have ideas, but you don't know how to start the story. Like, because like if you have ideas, does that mean like you have like a story idea, or do you just have like a character idea, or do you have like a setting idea? What are your actual ideas for it? Okay, so the thing that a lot of people don't want to hear, I guess, but I'm just going to fucking say it, is that everything has been done. Every fucking story has been told. Like, you are not saying anything new. Everything, every idea you have, everything you want to make is basically a a jumble of inspirations that you've had, maybe with a bolt of lightning. Okay. But at the end of the day, that story has probably already been told. The only thing that makes it different is you and your voice and your life experiences that make this thing your own. Okay. So, I mean, just think of how many people have fucking ripped off Shakespeare. And then think of how many people have ripped off Shakespeare without ever having read Shakespeare. Like, they don't even know what the fuck a Shakespeare is. And they're writing shit that is like just fucking the exact same story, just in a different setting with different people with different names. Okay. But a lot of it is carried by how you tell the story. You are the thing that's different. Your experiences, your influences, your inspirations, that makes everything different. And that's how you find your voice. Now, the thing that separates, I think, good writers from either bad writers or non writers is that good writers know their voice and trust it. Bad writers are afraid of their voice, or they try to be somebody else. And then the people who want to write and never write, those are the people who just never trust their voice and just go, well, I'm not that good. I can't do this. Okay. So the only reason why some people haven't written that book is because they believe like lie bullshit in their brain. Okay. It has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with bad ideas. It just has to do with trying to get past this fucking phantom liar bullshit in your brain. Okay. So that's the first thing that we have to do. So, one way, especially if we're going to be talking fiction, okay, let me see. Well, I never get the ideas for stories, but I get a lot of paranoid delusions. So, want to try using those as inspirations for scenes. Sorry, I'm struggling a bit. Good. I'm not good at storytelling. You're better than you think because you tell stories all the time in your poetry. You tell stories all the time in your emails. You know how to tell a story, whether it's a true story or a fictional story. You know how to do it and you're good at it. So definitely take those paranoid delusions. I mean, that's basically what Thomas Ligotti did. That's basically what H.P. Lovecraft did. Like just taking paranoid delusions and writing those out and writing them out from the point of view of like first person. And it doesn't have to be the same person in every story, but it doesn't matter if it is or if it isn't. It's just here is someone telling a story. Listen to the story. So that's fine. Okay, so the best way to try to come up with kind of how you want to write is this is probably my favorite way of doing this. I want you guys to find your three favorite authors. Okay. And you probably already know who they are. You probably already just said them. Okay. But what I want you to do is on a piece of paper, or if you're typing this out, type it. Although I do think writing by hand is stronger as far as connecting mental to spiritual to all that other shit. That's just one of those things. Come up with your 3 favorite authors and then write down what about them you actually like. What about them makes you feel like you want to create? Okay, because there's like books I love, but those books didn't make me want to be a writer. And then there's other books that like shaped me and made me want to do this. Okay. So for instance, I read Breakfast of Champions by Kurt Vonnegut. Okay. And I couldn't, because like before Kurt Vonnegut, I never thought I was smart enough to be able to write a book. I'm like, oh wow, because I was reading fucking Homer and fucking um, Chaucer and fucking like Byron and like all this classic fucking shit, right? I was reading fucking I mean I was reading Tolkien, but I was reading like H.G. Wells. I was reading Poe. I was reading all of this very like big purpley shit, right? So I get Breakfast of Champions and I read it. And the way he writes, he is basically explaining the world's problems to like a fucking 3-year-old and doing it in such a like beautiful, simple way that progressed as a writer. His writing got better and he honed his craft, the satirical simplicity. And I wanted that. I'm like, I want that. I want that now. I want that hard. Okay. So that was one thing. Then I read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas by Hunter S. Thompson. And that book, what jumped out to me was total paranoid fear in horribly mundane things. And then when there were things that were fucking crazy and insane, completely downplaying them. And that I thought was brilliant. Like having a total mental breakdown while describing something that's happening around you was, at least for me, new to me. And at the time when I read that, I didn't understand that that book was written originally as journalism articles. Jeff, what's up, man? I had no idea that those were articles, that it became a story as he was writing it. You know what I'm saying? And but it makes sense now. But like when I was young reading that, I was like, I want to do that. Like I find like insanity in the mundane all the fucking time, you know? And then like sometimes when like the world is ending, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What's over here? You know what I'm saying? So I wanted the satirical simplicity of Vonnegut and then the complete going like back and forth between what you should do and what you shouldn't do with Hunter S. Thompson. Then I read Naked Lunch. Okay. Now, Naked Lunch by William S. Burroughs. And Naked Lunch made me feel dirty. It made me feel like I was doing something I should not be doing. Okay. It made me feel like if anyone knew I was reading that book, something bad would happen to me. Okay. The subversive nature really jumped out at me and made me be like, oh my gosh, like this is my special secret thing that no one can know that I read, kind of thing. Now, if you notice, everything I just said, okay, was based on my feeling as a reader. Okay. I didn't say like, "Oh, I liked how he used this word a lot," or "I liked how his paragraphs looked." I said, "These are the things they did, and this is how it made me feel as a reader and made me want to do those things." Okay. Now, a lot of that is because, as you heard as I was telling that story, I'm like, I can do that. I talk to my nephew like that all the time. I could do that. I constantly am paranoid and freaked out about stupid shit that isn't even fucking real. You know, like I saw these things in writers that I liked and then noticed that I already do those things. But seeing those in those books gave me permission to be able to do that thing. Okay. So when you take those three things, or for me, and then you mix those things together, you have something. I'll go one step further because it was years into me like writing and like being an artist that I came across Bukowski. And I was getting a lot of people in my reviews saying it's very Bukowski like, or it's very Chuck Palahniuk or whatever. And because I was getting those a lot, I checked both of those authors out. And Chuck Palahniuk, if that's how you say his name, um, he felt like he was dirty for dirty's sake. And there wasn't a lot of heart in it. And so I didn't like that. And so I stopped trying him out. The Bukowski I read, I think it was Post Office was the first thing I read. He is dirty. He is kind of a fool, but he is self-deprecating and he has a heart. And a lot of people might not know this because they haven't read enough of his stuff. They just hear about the horrible things that he wrote. But he has a heart and he is just like a fucking scared little boy. Okay. And being vulnerable was the one thing that was missing from my early work. And I got that from reading Bukowski. So, like, just like hard on your sleeve, opening your chest out, letting the world look at it and play with your organs. Like, if I hadn't read Bukowski, I don't know if I would have ever done that. Because if you read like Anxious Anxiety, like that first collection of short stories I wrote, like they're fucking weird. They're simple, but there's no heart. At least I don't feel there's any heart in them. And compared to stuff I've written since. Okay. So for me, knowing those things that I need like satirical simplicity, I need to be paranoid of the mundane and calm in the face of danger and be subversive as fuck, but also very vulnerable. Like I would, if I was doing this now, like back then, I would be putting these on sticky notes and putting them in front of my desk where I'm writing. Okay. To remind myself that this is what I am inside and what I want my work to be. Because so many of us, you guys read a book, like whatever book you're reading or whatever show you're watching, that is the voice that almost comes out. Oh my God, Joe, baby! How's it going? I haven't seen you in forevers. Okay. But when you watch something or hear something or read something, a lot of times the next thing you write is kind of littered with that shit. Okay. Like there's a lot of people out there who, and I mean, I don't want to say self publishing made this proper, but there are a lot of self published authors out there who are just like chameleons and like it's like whatever big thing is happening, they will then write a book just like it. And whatever. It's fine, whatever. If you want to be an artist and have your own voice, then focus on having your own voice and curating your own voice. If you don't want that and you just want to cookie cut shit, don't listen to this and just go make some money on fucking Amazon. It's fine. So that's the deal with that. So I don't know if you guys have and you like already thought out like what ideas of like who like your three favorite authors would be and why. But if you have it, leave it in the chat. Like drop it in there and say who you got. Who's on your fucking fantasy author team? Let's play some fantasy author bingo. Uh Another thing too, while you guys are doing that, um, one thing that people I don't want to say need to do because again, like these are all assumptions. There are no absolutes. But when people are like, I don't know how to write, I don't know like how I'm supposed to sound how you are, like write how you speak. We send emails every day. We text every day. I mean, some of us don't talk on the phone at all anymore, but like we do all of these things every day. We tell our significant others stories about what happened to me earlier today. Like we do these things. However, you do that, I challenge you to try to write a book like that. Do not try to use words that you don't know, that you've never used before, and you're like, oh, this is weird. This seems clunky. Da, 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 da. But if you are like afraid of your vocabulary, if you don't think your vocabulary is strong enough, get a better fucking vocabulary. Learn more words, get a dictionary out, do one of those like word a day things and start putting that word into your speech and have that word be something that you are comfortable with and using. I really feel like people can tell when somebody is using a word that they've fucking never used before, whether it's something that you're having a conversation with somebody or if it's like fucking you're reading somebody's book. You would go, oh, editor did that. Oh, the editor did that. Like it there's a feeling, and again, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about energy transference and art, but I might have to be talking about that here soon. um, I'm determined to write a novel, but I should probably put my poetry book out first. My three favorite authors are Philip K. Dick, Tom Robbins, and Kurt Vonnegut. Now, why are they your three favorite? Good seeing you. I miss you all. Don't know how long my terrible internet will let me watch. Oh no. Where are you staying? Are you still at the last place we were talking about? You don't have to answer that on here. Like that's probably not the best thing to do there. Okay. Let me see. Oh yeah. So write how you speak. In the Poetic Anarchy course, I did a thing a while back. Oh my god. Okay, I did a thing a while back where we talked about how there are poets that I've seen who have like a very regional dialect. And when they speak, it's like magical because, like, for me, like, that's like a new like sound. Like, I don't know this dialect, but it sounds great hearing this person speak. And then they get to their poetry and it's like fucking old English fucking shit. Okay. And I think that's really missing the mark of you creating something from you, from where you're from. Like, that's like you're like hiding your past. You're like hiding where you took shape, if that makes any sense. So, um, I really want to stress that I think it's really important for all of us to write what we know, write where we live, write who we are. Um, that whole and write what we have. I don't know if I said that already, but that whole thing, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in a minute. But what I want to like nail down for you, think of your favorite authors, um, like Jeff was saying, Philip K. Dick, Tom Robbins, and Kurt Vonnegut. Try to find interviews with them, like audio interviews or video interviews, and see if the way they speak is the way they write. Like if you like when you like watch old interviews with Kurt Vonnegut, the way he talks is how he writes. When you watch Hunter S. Thompson, the way he fucking talks is exactly how he fucking writes. You know what I'm saying? Like that is voice. Like you can hear it, you can feel it when people are reading those words. They are like hanging out with you. They are with you, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, they are there, right there with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it should be when people read your shit. Again, assumption, not absolute. Okay. But if you want to know my opinion, that's what it is. So going back to like, don't hide your voice. Don't write about stuff you don't know about. So if you've never been in love, don't write about love. Okay. Because it's going to look like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. If you've never been rich or don't know what it's like to be rich, you could write about a rich person, but don't focus on their fucking wealth because you've never had it and you don't know what it's fucking like. Okay. If you've never been poor, don't fucking write about being poor because you don't know what it's like. You can write about a poor person, but don't focus on their poverty because you don't know what it's like. And if you don't know what it's like, I mean, yes, you could research shit because, yeah, there's like things you can read and all this other shit. But do you really want to spend all your time researching something, or do you want to spend your time creating art? Write what you know. You have had all of these wonderful experiences happen to you to shape you into who you are right now. So why not write about that shit that you already know, that you don't have to fucking research? And I'm not calling you out, Nikki. I'm not calling you out at all. Like, historical fiction is a thing. I completely understand. I'm not trying to give anyone shit for that. But I'm just saying, like, it's so much easier to write what you know, write what you have, write where you live, and all of this shit. This is so much easier. Okay. And when I say easier, a lot of this too, especially for new writers, all you have to do is pop that cherry, like pop that cork. Okay. And once you do that, it's so much easier. Once you put that first book out, it's so much easier to do it after that. So why make your whole fucking life 100 times harder by working on this project that in your head you have decided is going to be the thing you're known for, the biggest thing ever, when you could just do something like that you know really well, that's really easy, and just do it to get it out there, to get that fucking anxiety off of you? Because anticipation is the killer. Like, anticipating what's going to happen, that's where anxiety and fear and all sorts of fucking shit come from. So just do something quick and put it out, done. And now you have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. If you've never been depressed, don't write about depression, because people who have depression will read that book and go, wow, this person has never had a bad day in their fucking life. Have they ever like been around a 15-year-old girl? Like, how do you not know what like depression is? Like, what's wrong with you? You know? Like drug addiction and booze and alcoholism and all sorts of shit. If you don't do these things, don't write these things. Okay? Like, yes, can you write about a spaceship? Because I've never been on a spaceship. Of course you can. But if you try to tell me how to build a spaceship, I'm probably going to know that you've actually never built a spaceship before. And we could both go, this is science fiction, sir. But if you try to explain the inner workings of heart valves, because all of a sudden you're writing this medical thriller and you suddenly want to like really get into the weeds of how to fucking perform open heart surgery, but have no idea how to do it, that might come off. People might go, oh, I don't know if he knows what the fuck he's doing there. Okay. If you have never been in a Porsche, don't try to explain all the stuff inside of it and how it works, because one person who has a Porsche will read that and go, this person has never been inside a Porsche. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, am I saying you can't write about these things? No, but I'm saying don't waste your time trying to make it look like you know about something. I would rather you spend your time working on character development than working on shit that isn't that important and is just going to make you look like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because a lot of you feel like you need to know everything about a topic before you write about it. Well, if that's the case, why are you writing about a topic you don't fucking know about? Well, I really wanted my like FBI agent to also have a background in I don't know, cryptozoology. Well, that's awesome that that's what you want for your character. But if you don't know anything about that and you're going to have to go to fucking 3 years of school just to figure out how to write this character, is that really worth doing? Don't make art hard. Like, feel good when you're creating. And yes, I know that like there's this story you have burning in your head, but you could also make that FBI agent with a background in cryptozoology a cafeteria lady. And if you're a cafeteria lady, you know all about cafeteria lady shit. And you probably have more stories than anybody about what it's like being in a cafeteria. Could she solve murders too? Sure. But guess what? Now she's a fucking cafeteria lady. I'm just trying to help you here. This must be why so many writers write about writers. So many writers write about writers because of this, and also because a lot of writers think they are amazing. So, because a lot of filmmakers also make movies about making movies. And what filmmakers and people outside of Hollywood don't understand is that most people don't give a shit about the like inner workings of how to make a movie. Like that doesn't really interest them. The plight of the 1% trying to figure out how to like make this $1 million movie like isn't gonna connect with most Americans. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of writers write about writers. That is true. That is true. Um, and then I was just going to talk about erotica too. Like, if you don't watch porn, don't read erotica, don't have sex, all this other stuff, and you don't even pleasure yourself, erotica probably isn't the best bet for you. So don't try. And you guys might be going, why are you talking about this? You have no idea how many times that question's come up. Like, I'm not really that sexually experienced, but I really would like to get in on this erotica thing. There's a lot of money being made in it. And da 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 da. Come on, guys. Come on. I always thought people write about writers because writers buy more books than most people. I don't think there's enough writers to buy enough books to keep one writer like out of homelessness. Like, I don't think there's enough. Like, yeah. Okay. Write what you know, write what you have. Oh yeah, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about today, guys. Keep everything you write. Okay. Don't do this thing where you throw away, like you write stuff and you're like, I don't like that. I'm going to delete all this. I'm going to throw this away. Like, especially with digital space, we have so much room. Like, you can keep millions of documents now and something this big, you know, like getting rid of stuff to like clear space. It's bullshit. Sorry if not. I'm not sure what YouTube is doing. Oh wait, I hope Chill Baby's comment is showing up. I've tried to show it, but it keeps getting what? Oh wait, I feel like I missed a bunch of comments here. Let me see. I know how they get. Okay. I think our writer voice is different than our conversation voice. And it probably is for you. But one of the reasons why your writer voice is different than your conversation voice is because your writer voice either doesn't think your conversation voice is good enough, or your conversation voice thinks that you have to be something different for your writer voice. That's all that is. I hope Chill Baby's comment is showing up. Okay. Yeah, I don't see another Chill Baby comment. I just see the good seeing you one. Yeah, I'll try to figure that out later. Sometimes going into the weeds with a niche can drag a story down. Of course, if you are writing about a cop, no police procedures, but how many readers want to know the minutia of a skill? Exactly. But there is that thing called hard sci-fi where, and I mean, a lot of it's pseudoscience anyway, but the hard sci-fi shit, like you need to like really know how to put things together and know schematics of things and shit like that, because people get off on that. But that's just one genre, you know? And I mean, think of all the do you want to research something or do you want to make art? Oh yeah. Okay, so back to throwing stuff away. Like I've told the story before, but I had a friend who would write like almost an entire novel and then throw it away and then start it over and then throw it away. And then when I yelled at him about it and said I was going to start keeping his shit, he like ripped a page out and ate it and swallowed it. And now he's not doing anything. Okay. So that has always broken my heart because like he was one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life, but nothing ever happened from his stuff. But like have an idea folder, a slush pile, and this is all shit that you could go back to years later. I still go back through stuff I wrote when I was in high school to see if there's anything in there I could pull from for anything. You know what I'm saying? Like these are and another way to look at it if you want to get more spiritual about it. All these ideas that you've written down over the years, all these things that you wrote half of and then stopped and all this other stuff. If you take all that shit and throw it away, why is the universe or the ether or wherever ideas come from? Why will you ever get another idea if all you do is show the universe that you don't give a shit about the ideas you get and you just crumple them up and throw them away? Like, that's like a fucking how dare you? Like, you are given these gifts and you just fucking throw them away because you think you're fucking better than what you're writing. Like, who are you to throw that shit away? Just hang on to it. You never know when you're going to need it. You never know when you're going to see it. And cherish the fact that you even have ideas and that you have the ability to take that idea and fucking put it down on paper. Like a lot of people can't do that or have chosen to not do that. But you have taken the step to like, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to fucking go out here and I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? And if you just fucking spit in the face of fucking wherever ideas come from, because I don't fucking need this, I'm just gonna throw this away, huh? Who the fuck are you? That's awful. Don't fucking do that shit. That's really, really, really bad. That is really bad mojo. Do not throw your shit away. Cherish your ideas. Okay? I'm not saying you have to finish every fucking thing you write, but be fucking grateful and thankful that you were able to have that in the first place. Okay. So, with that said, are there any questions before we do the Anarchy Crew writing Zoom? That was really heavy, guys. Sorry. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing imposter syndrome. So, that should be fun. We all like hearing about that kind of stuff. And then I think on Friday, what we're going to do is actual, like, if there's any, like, any questions you guys have about actual craft and not just you getting out of your own way. We can talk about a little bit of that on Friday. Okay, I'm going to have a sip of this coffee while I wait to see if you guys have anything to say. And if not, I will be sending the Zoom link to Anarchy Crew members momentarily here. And then we will do some prompts and talk about our works in progress and stuff. And Bunny, hit me up in a little bit and let me know what's been happening on YouTube. I'm going to try to figure it out and see like if I could see what's going on, but it's been acting weird. So I don't know what to do with the comments. Like I really don't know how to figure that out. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Well, so I guess that's it. Down below will be the link to be notified for tomorrow's lesson. And if you hit the join button and join the Anarchy Crew, you could get in on the writing Zooms, but you have to let me know that you joined so I could like send me an email, ihatemoutwall@gmail.com, so I could send you a link to the writing Zoom. Okay? Type hard. Create every day, guys. Do the thing, and you guys are all awesome. You guys are already authors, so just fucking write something now. Jesus. All right. So that's it. I guess I will talk to you guys soon. And Anarchy Crew, look into your spam or bulk or whatever fucking thing it is, because sometimes I don't think you guys get the emails right away. I think it goes somewhere else other than inbox. Okay. Bye.